everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to review Independence Day, the 1996 Roland Emmerich sci-fi epic. Are you excited?
Epic?
It's an epic.
As long.
It's long and it covers a lot of ground. But, it's the definition of an epic, I think. But have you seen? How long has it been since you watched this movie?
All the way through? I don't know. A while. Maybe since before the last one came out.
Yeah, it definitely before the last one came out. Since I've sat there,
I don't know, 20, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago.
I don't think it's been that long for me, but yeah, it's definitely been a while. But
that list maybe came out 4 years ago. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, no, that's a long time ago. I was excited to get back around to it. You know, last week's movie, I think we both agreed was a little subpar.
Yeah.
So this movie, I think we both kind of we knew that we liked it going in. So excited to get back to a good movie. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about who was involved in making this movie. This movie is directed by our best friend, Roland Emmerich, and written by Roland Emmerich and his often co-conspirator, Dean Devlin.
Co-conspirator, that's a word for it.
And then starring a bunch of people.
Starring Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Mary McDonnell, Judd Hirsch, Margaret Collin, Randy Quaid, and a bunch of other people. And then music by David Arnold, who I might add kind of rips off some John Williams stuff. But
kind of. A lot.
Released July 3rd, 1996. Made with a production budget of around $75 million and a box office return of $817.4 million. So, pretty decent success, I would say.
And this movie is 2 hours and 25 minutes long.
She's a long one.
It's a long movie, but I don't know, it gets right into it.
Yeah.
You see, the first scene is we see, of course, this movie is loaded with American iconography.
Yeah.
And the first scene is the moon landing site. And you see the shadow of the alien ship pass over. And then, you have the people on Earth reading these space signals and blah, blah, blah. But I think this first act is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they do a great job of building up the anticipation for the aliens arriving and blowing shit up, if you'll excuse my language. Of course, I think the biggest knock I'm going to give this movie is that it has too many characters and too many subplots.
It does have a lot of characters and a lot of subplots, and it asks you to suspend some belief in reality and when it comes to certain aspects of it, but, kind of give it some give-me's, but...
Yeah, there's like a dozen main characters in this movie.
Yeah.
You have Bill Pullman, who's playing...
the president.
President Whitmore, basically H.W. Bush. And then you have Will Smith and his wife, and then you have
Randy Quaid and his kids.
And then you have
Jeff Goldblum and his dad and his
ex-wife or wife or whatever, and his dad, and some more people.
And some military officials that are pretty heavily
and a whole bunch of role players, and there's a lot of subplots that go on, and I think this movie has too many of them. I think you could probably cut out. I think if I was, giving writing advice to Dean Devlin, I'd say condense the main character group to 3 or 4 people, condense the subplots to 3 or 4 subplots, and cut this movie. You could probably shave, if you were being a really aggressive editor, you could probably shave about 45 minutes off this movie.
You could probably find it somewhere
and not really lose that much.
Yeah, especially if you change some certain. If you wanted to stick to the same basic story, you could definitely find a way to make other characters to do certain things in the movie, and instead of the person who does it in the movie, make someone else do that certain thing or whatever.
For example, Will Smith, who I would say is probably his first build. I don't know if I wouldn't say...
He doesn't show up till, 20 minutes into the movie?
He's 20 minutes into the movie before he's even introduced, and we've already seen every other character a few times, I think, by then. So, that I think gives you a good hint that this movie's a little overcrowded. But anyway, so with this first act, like I said, I think they do a great job of building up the anticipation and of all this. And I think I said the aliens fired upon the cities at the 46-minute mark. And unlike a lot of these disaster porn movies, as I'll call them, the destruction I think actually lives up to the hype in this movie.
Yeah.
That's the biggest compliment I can give it. For a film made in 1996, I think the effects are really good.
The effects are really good. They hold up pretty well. I mean, there's some rough matting shots or some CGI, questionable CGI here or there, but for the most part, for something made for $75 million in 1996, I mean, it's pretty
it looks
good.
really good, yeah. And when the cities are blowing up, I mean, it's great. I think they actually do a good job of building up the tension. Like, I'm kind of
with the whole subplot about like Jeff Goldblum finding the hidden code or whatever in the transmission, and then finding out that it's essentially a countdown. It adds in that tension, like forced time coming.
Yeah, and then the scene when the Air Force One's taking off and they're trying to outrun the explosion. I mean, it's a tense scene. I think
that Roland Emmerich would later copy in 2012.
Yeah, Roland Emmerich copies himself a lot, but I think he sells it really well here. And I really love this. Now, the second act, after this all goes down, I think does slow down a little bit. They have the stuff where they find Area 51, or they find it. They go to Area 51 and they see the aliens. Will Smith has his aerial battle with the little spaceship, and you have the plot about them nuking this and failing to nuke them, and all this stuff in the second act. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, they do some good, or at least necessary character building stuff, with Will Smith and his wife, his soon-to-be wife, and Bill Pullman and
trying to bring all the characters
the first
together,
lady dying, and merging storylines, which is they got a lot of storylines to merge. Randy Quaid, he's off in the desert with his kids acting goofy, and
I mean, I really love Randy Quaid in this movie. I think he's a great comedic addition to it.
Yeah.
But if we're being 100% honest, I think he's probably the character arc that you could cut out of it. I think you could rewrite this script in a way that would make one of our other characters, maybe even though say the sequel had never been made, excluding the thought that would ever happen.
Yeah.
I think it would be a pretty cool thing to see, like, say, instead of Randy Quaid sacrificing himself at the end of the movie, maybe Bill Pullman's character, President Whitmore, sacrifices himself to defend his country.
Yeah, if you're talking like the main group of core characters, I think Randy Quaid is probably the most expendable. Kind of overlap. I mean, he's a comedic relief, but I mean, a lot of people are kind of dropping jokes in this movie. Yeah. Will Smith, obviously, is just being Will Smith, and
I mean, he got. I feel like after Fresh Prince and when he did this, he kind of started getting typecast a lot. Yeah. So he always played like the macho kind of suave kind of dude.
Yeah.
And it carried over through like this, and then see what else had he done? He did Bad Boys and all that stuff like that. Yeah. So
and Jeff Goldblum is just playing the same character that Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's always kind of like the arrogant, really smart guy.
Yeah, and I mean he is the same character in every movie, and but I mean he does it really well. He does it really well in this movie. I like Jeff Goldblum. I think he's a good addition to this movie. But yeah, this middle act I think is really if you're being an aggressive editor, like I said, I think you could really
this is where you could cut down on
some stuff.
Especially, I mean, you could cut some of the stuff out of the first act with like I was saying, Randy Quaid. If you cut his entire storyline out, that would shave a decent amount of time off.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of wandering around when it comes to like Will Smith's soon-to-be wife. She kind of wanders around this military base and finding people after she makes it out alive from the destruction of LA or whatever.
Yeah.
You could cut some of that down easily.
Yeah, you could cut some of this out. But once we get into the third act and they've figured out how to take down the shields of the spaceships, and Bill Pullman gives his infamous speech.
Infamous, the greatest movie speech. One of the greatest movie speeches ever.
It's definitely up there. I really enjoy the final battle in this movie with the jets and the little spaceships all just having a giant shootout in the sky, and the effects are all really good. I think it's really tense stuff with Goldblum and Will Smith up at the mothership doing their stuff, and
they kind of get this sense of that they might not make it out at some point in time because they get trapped in there, and then they have like these window shield things that can go over the windshield of the spaceship that they're in, and they end up getting opened up, and so they think they're gonna die, but eventually they obviously end up making it out.
They obviously make it out, and I think this movie does just enough character building that I do care enough about all the characters. Like it is kind of sad when the first lady dies, and Bill Pullman I think pulls that off really well. It is moving, I guess, like when the characters are reunited in parts, and when Randy Quaid sacrifices himself. I think that's all really good. Yep. I think there's one or two too many fake out deaths in this movie. Yeah. But that is kind of what it is.
No, I think they do. I mean, granted, it would have been nice to have a few less characters, but the main few characters that they focus on the most, they did enough character building and making you and giving these characters enough story to them that they make you care about them at least enough to when they reunite at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, I'm glad that they're together again.
Yeah, but no, this movie is dripping in patriotism.
Yeah,
which
is a little odd considering the fact that Roland Emmerich is a German individual.
Yeah. I mean, all of his movies, are not, at least a lot of them.
A lot of them
feel like they're dripping in patriotism, which, I love me a good patriotic movie. So, I appreciate it.
He literally made a movie called The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Some people may be turned off by that, but I appreciate it. And then, like I said, just the incredible, I think they do a really good job with all the destruction. This was, I think...
It's definitely the epitome of a summer blockbuster.
I think this is early in that destruction porn phase that we got in. This probably was the movie that really created it, and I think it does it really good.
All these disaster movies, which Roland Emmerich did a lot of.
Yeah, which Roland Emmerich really pioneered. Him and Michael Bay got out there. I think it's actually probably one of the better ones, if not the best one. I enjoy all the mass chaos and destruction.
And it's done really well, and it's done in a very entertaining way. So
yeah, so no, I guess. Kind of flew through that kind of fast, but I guess it's time for buy it, stream it, or skip it.
Buy it, stream it, or skip it.
Which would you recommend?
I personally really enjoy this movie. I think it's a really fun time, especially if you got nothing better to do. It's definitely one of those movies that I could see people watching every year on like a 4th of July or something like that. Throw something on. It is called Independence Day. Mm-hmm. There are some overcrowded things in this movie. It definitely could have some stuff trimmed out of it. Some characters that probably could definitely be trimmed out of it, and you could shave some time off the runtime and make it a little more streamlined. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think they do a pretty decent job, even with the excess amount of characters, building them up enough to where you care about them. At least enough to where you're rooting for them to get out of the situations that they're in, or you feel for them when certain things happen to certain characters. City destruction's done really well. All the effects pretty much are done really well for a movie from 1996. Couple matting shots and CGI shots here or there that are a little rough, but other than that, I think it's a pretty decent movie. The score. It kind of ripped off from John Williams.
It's a John Williams score with somebody's name.
It sounds a lot like a John Williams score, which I like John Williams music, so I'm not going to complain. But I personally really enjoy this movie. I'm going to say buy it.
Yeah. There is no great writing going on here.
No.
This is... But when I think about a summer blockbuster and what that term means, this movie checks virtually all of the good boxes and very few of the bad boxes. This is obviously one of the movies that really, I think, helped to shape the modern
blockbuster.
Post 1995 blockbuster that we see now every day, and every movie tries to be this movie now. But I think this movie does it all pretty well. It has too many characters, like a lot of blockbusters, and probably more than most blockbusters. And there are some plot holes. If you sit and nitpick it, you can find all kinds of plot holes. But it has all the great things that you'd want out of a summer blockbuster. It has a lot of other movie references, pop culture references that I appreciate. Brent Spiner is just one giant pop culture reference in this movie. There's one point where he opens up his where David, played by Jeff Goldblum, opens up his laptop, and it's HAL 9000.
And he says, "Hello, Dave."
Hello, Dave. Yeah. So it's a lot of great pop culture, but not so many that you're just drowning in them. The effects and the destruction and all that is really.
There's always a tinge of romance in a summer blockbuster.
Oh yeah, the romance between Will Smith. There's too many. I wish we just had one, but the one between Will Smith and his wife is pretty sweet. Then you also have one unnecessary one between Jeff Goldblum and the press secretary of the White House.
His supposed ex-wife,
his ex-wife, or still, I don't know, they're actually legally divorced at this point.
I have no idea.
And then you also have Bill Pullman and the First Lady, and all that. But, no, I love the action. I love the alien stuff we have in this movie. I think, the models they built for these ships
are all done really well.
Are all really neat looking, and then the CGI on them and the dog fights between the jet fighters and the spaceships, all really exciting stuff. Now I think this movie pretty much checks all the green boxes for a blockbuster that you would want. So yeah, I'm gonna say like you said, if you want to rewatch this every 4th of July or every other 4th of July, I think it's a good one to sit down with the family and watch.
Don't watch the sequel.
Don't watch the sequel. Sequel's really bad. But I'm gonna say buy it. Definitely. I mean, it's worth it. You can get a Blu-ray pretty cheap now.
What'd you get your copy for?
It's a used
pre-owned, but
for it's $6. So it's worth it.
Not bad.
I mean, you could definitely spend. There's definitely 2.5-hour movies that are a lot worse and a lot more boring.
Yeah.
So,
some that we might watch at some point.
Some that we will, if this podcast survives long, or not podcast, this YouTube channel survives long enough that we will definitely watch. So, we watched one the other day in Dune. So,
yeah, that's a movie.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the movie we had for you this week. Next week we will review Avatar. Right?
Yeah, next week we're gonna do Avatar, followed by Arrival.
Yeah, right.
So make sure you keep your eye out for those, as well as make sure you check out our previous videos, and we'll continue our Christopher Nolan retrospective next month with The Prestige.
That's right, and if you just love listening to us, we also have another podcast called Stomp This Way, where we review a different giant monster movie every week. Have something exciting coming up there. Speaking of Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, our favorite two collaborators, they are. We're going to, on April 28th
at 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. do a live stream commentary / perhaps riff of a blockbuster they made, maybe not quite as successful, Godzilla. Yeah, it's kind of weird that I like this movie so much because I really don't care for anything else that Roland Emmerich has made in his career, or Dean Devlin for that matter. You said The Patriot. I guess The
Patriot's pretty good.
But anyway,
and I can enjoy 2012 for how stupid it is. I mean, I know it's not a good movie, but it's one of those guilty pleasures. Like, I mean, it's long, but. It's some parts of it are just entertaining to watch. Just for
I would say that's true of 2012. Also, kind of true of Day After Tomorrow. But I mean, as far as like actually sitting down and enjoying it from beginning to end, probably Independence Day is about as close as it's gonna get. Because that sequel, that's rough.
We don't talk about that.
But anyway, thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah, make sure you check out our social medias. We're up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're still, I believe, at DNA Film Wars on all those is our username. So make sure you give us a like or follow, and be sure to tell your friends about us.
That's right. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time.
See you later.